Hey everybody, welcome back to Japan on our second leg of our tour of the newly updated and modified Japanese region. If you don't know, Microsoft have done an update and they've added all kinds of stuff, terrain meshing, they've smoothed things out, they've added in Japanese looking buildings, and just done an update to the entire region. So we're currently in Kerama. It's a little island off the coast of Okinawa, and we're going to take off, head slightly east to Okinawa itself. We're going to fly up the length of the Okinawan Islands, and we're heading today up to a small airport called Suwanosejima, which is a tiny island, and let me show you where we're headed. So we're currently here. We're going to fly down here to Okinawa, and then we're going to fly all the way up this chain of islands. And where we're actually headed is a small airport somewhere in here. It's not even in Sky Vector. So that will be our destination for today. It's about 240 miles, I think, 250 miles. So that's where we're going. There's our airplane. Let's get down there and get ready to go. Alright, so we're into the aircraft. Let's get her started up, so we'll get the batteries on. Make sure the fuel tanks are both on. So I just had to make a little adjustment there. Mixture is rich for both engines. Okay. We will put the beacon on. Now, this guy is rather close, so at this point, I'm going to ask him to give us a bit of a pushback out of the way. So there we go. So he's going to come in before I start the engines. It's kind of important. And he's going to give us a push back. We'll go back to there, and this will be our taxi path out. Winds are pretty calm, slightly out of the north. And once we push back, I'm going to... Just a nice slow pushback. I just want to give us some room with him out of the way. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I have WeatherForce now. So, I'm currently set for clear and, clear skies. So, I have the weather for the area up. So, I'm going to now start the weather injection. And we can see what happens and what the difference ends up being when it loads. Alright, that's good. You can leave us there. So let's see what happens with the weather. There we go. So there's some clouds. So this is the accurate weather for the area. Of course, I've changed the time so I'm not flying in the middle of the night. And this is one of the custom-made airports for the new release and update as well. As you can see, it's very nice. It's got some Japanese-style vehicles and cars and the building here, the terminal building. It's very nice. Looks fantastic. Alright, let's jump in the aircraft and we'll finish getting started up. So everything is set, so let's go with engine number right. One more. Alright, the engine is up and running, and we'll go with engine number left. Okay, so we'll get the alternators on, we'll get the avionics on. Don't need the anti-icing today. So we'll take a quick look here at the map. That's where we are. We're going to take off to the north, so we'll taxi down and take off this way. We're going to fly over to the main island here. Fly up the chain, and then our destination, as you can see, is up here somewhere. So something like that. So we're going to target again about I think for the initial flight over Okinawa, we'll go for 2,500 feet. That's what we'll target. And we'll set our heading on a heading of 90, well, maybe about 120 to start with to get ourselves lined up. Again, this is a sightseeing flight, so we'll be using the autopilot a lot so that we can go outside and look around and see what we can see. So there's taxi light, landing light. All right. So we'll taxi out now to the runway. Get ourselves lined up. There we go. Little parking brake off. Again, this would be much easier if I had dual throttles, but I don't. There we go. I'll get you guys out of the way. That guy there is parked a little tight, but that's fine. You can see the windsock there just slowly drifting in the breeze. Alright. It says the current altimeter is this is showing in inches. 111, which I think is just slightly under. Yeah, 2985. Okay, so let's get the strobe on. And we'll take that one off. Panel lights are off, floodlights are off. That's good. So we'll taxi down now to the end of the runway. And I've got ATC off. I'm not using ATC. I do have aircraft on, but not using ATC for these flights. So while we're taxiing down, we'll get our flaps into position number 1 for takeoff. The first leg of the flight of the trip was pretty spectacular. The islands look great, but we're over water, so couldn't see much that way. But the islands themselves, what we saw on the islands looked fantastic. So let's get the rest of our self set up here. And we want wind 3. There we go. And the transponder, nope, don't need that. Oh, there it is, transponder. We will set to a nice VFR frequency 1200, and on Oh, okay. Let's get ourselves turned around, and we're good to go. Come on, get around. There we go. It's good enough. Full power. Airspeed is alive. It's 50 knots. 70 knots. Come up, watch the tower there. Positive rate, gear up. Flaps up. And we'll get the autopilot on. Start climbing. And we'll get ourselves turned around. And there's the view out. Look at that water. That's looking pretty impressive. So we're heading over here to Okinawa. And keep that heading around a little bit more. We want to go for the southern tip. Go down to 130 and then we'll fly basically right up the center of the islands. Oh, about 1,000 feet per minute. Again, we flew by here on the way in. Fantastic looking. Came around. And you can see Okinawa there in the distance. Interesting little glitching there. That's because of the water effect. So Okinawa, my next time I go to Japan, Okinawa is definitely a place I have to go to. It's I haven't been there before, but it's on my list of places to see while I'm there. So we're heading up to 2,500 feet. Leveling out now. Pull the props back to about 24. 2450. And 24 on the manifold pressure. There we go. And then we'll throw on prop sink. Not that it's going to do anything. A little bit of cloud ahead, that's fine. We'll get through that. And then we'll start our way up across Okinawa. Bye-bye islands. Kerama is behind us. Okinawa is in front of us. Yes, we're 240 miles to our destination airport of RJX8. Again, that's Suwanosejima. Jima meaning island. So it's a little island on the way up to the main Japanese islands. And there we go, through the clouds. And there is Okinawa. Head that way now. Let's pop outside for a second. It's looking very nice. So what I'm going to do is, from here, sit back, enjoy the flight. I'll throw on a little bit of music, and you can enjoy the views as we head up towards our destination. Well, welcome back to the cockpit. We're about 13 miles out, and as you can see, it's clouded over quite significantly for the last about 40-50 miles. So the airport, just shift over here, is over here on this island, and right on the edge of the island. It's basically southeast to northwest, and that's where we're headed. It's not a large strip, it's a small one, but we'll get ourselves set up for that. So we're going to descend down to about 1,000 feet, which will be the approach altitude. We're also going to start slowing the airplane down. As we get ready to come in. So the landing lights are on, floodlights are on, floodlights are off. I'll turn the panel lights off. They didn't really do anything. Nav lights are on, beacons on, strobes on. Gonna go. Mixtures are full rich. Propellers are fully forward. We should be good to be coming in. So there's the island there. Looks like an old volcano. Like most of these islands probably are. There's the runways there. There's a little village just off to the northwest there, the northern end of the runway. Let's just do a little bit of a zoom in there. So we'll hold it at 1,000 feet until we're a couple miles out, and then we'll start our descent into the island. We're basically going to come up to it and do a, well, we'll consider ourselves on an extended base right now, and then we'll do our turn to final. I'll hold it at maybe 1,200 feet. Watch the airspeed. So we got a gap in the clouds here, so it looks like it'll be nicely illuminated as we do our approach. Pretty remote location out here. Start heading that way. Water's looking pretty calm. Not a lot of wind out today. So we're about 5 miles out now. slowing up a little bit more. The first notch of flaps in. Autopilot's off. It's 4 miles. Hold altitude here. Gear down. We want to trim for about 80. And use the power to control our descent. So flaps are down, gear is down, 3 green. Oop. I want to roll away from the airport. Problem with taking your hand off the stick to use the mouse to look around. Let's watch the descent. Getting a bit low. Some trees over the end of the runway there. It looks like it slopes upwards a little bit. Watch the trees. We're low. Over the trees, and down we go.
Stall.
No, come on, put her down. Alright, that's us down. That was a little bit low on the approach, but we got her in. Oh, the sun is shining here, that's for sure. Let's get her turned around. There we go. And we'll pull in over here. Definitely a slope on that runway. Some guys waiting for us over there. All right. There we go. Parking brake is on. Mixers are off. Lights are off. What are you doing? Go back. Not done yet. There we go. So that is us here in, I can never pronounce this, Suwanosejima. Sejima. Can hear the birds. Looks fantastic. This is another one of the little handcrafted airports they've done. They've added in some buildings, and I think they've done some work on the surrounding terrain as well. You can see the little village there, and there's more to it. If we head over this way off the end of the runway, you can see the pier and the docks and the ships. Hope you're enjoying our tour of Japan. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.